One, two, three. Hello and welcome along to another video with myself, Sean, the EV bloke, and great to have you along for another video. And today I just wanted to briefly go over some of the things that I basically haven't gone over in the car as yet, and I've had a couple of emails and questions on comments and stuff on the channel, so I thought we'd go over those today. So okay, let's turn her on, fire her up, and one of the questions is about that startup sound. So where do we find that on the actual entertainment system? So we're going to go over that in a minute. So there we go. We'll turn all this off before we get a copyright strike on that. We'll get it into the BYD mode. Hi BYD. Open blind.
The blind is open.
Well, that's the blind opening up. As I've mentioned before in other videos, it's got a very good, quite good voice system on this. So it would do quite a lot of prompts and things, and it's pretty good in that regard. Okay, so let's get into some of the things that I probably haven't shown you before in here that I probably should do really. I probably will link you to also an overall proper walk around video of someone else who's got a pretty good overview of all of this on this channel. As I always say to you, I'm not a professional car journalist or really a YouTuber as such. Really, I'm just learning YouTube as I go. I have managed to get myself a microphone now, so I'm all connected up over here. So hopefully that's improving things a little bit in terms of sound. As I've mentioned before, I don't have the greatest projection type of voice, but I'll just try to do the best I can really. Right, so we go over to here to home, and if we go into settings, as you can see, and then you come up with, in actual fact, let's close the screen because I think that's making it a bit too bright in here. Hi BYD, close blind.
Okay, close the blind.
I would just give us a bit too much reflection on the screen there, I think. We'll close that off. That's better. Helps us out a bit more. Right, so we can get all of this coming up here now. So you've obviously got your system settings, ADAS settings, a lot of these I did cover before. There's a few things I didn't cover in very much detail. On here, as I say, you've got the steering assist mode. You can have it in sport or comfort. I leave it in sport because it gives you a bit more feedback. It's a little bit wallowy in comfort, so I tend to leave it on sport. It just gives you a bit more feedback. But also for the brake assist mode, which is how the chassis system feels in terms of like it says brake assist mode, but it's really the overall chassis of the car. So in other words, how wallowy it feels. I just leave that in comfort. Sport's a little bit on the firmer side for me. It's still not too bad. So I leave it in there, and then comfort parking is really just a reflection of that chassis setup there. Now, if we come over here to notification, which is probably not exactly quite where you'd necessarily expect to see some of these things, you come to the vehicle sounds. So in other words, when you start up the car, the sound that gives you that guitar-y sound when you start up, and also on the indicators, the sound there. You can actually change around with these, and also the low speed warning simulator that's built into the car, which is, as has probably been reported, you've probably seen reported on quite a lot of other videos, is actually really loud on this car. But not much you can do about that in terms of the loudness of it, but you can change the sound of it and things like that. So if you have it on brand, it affects all of these things like the startup sound, the indicator noise, and also the low speed thing. And I've had a couple of I've had a couple of messages on the YouTube channel about how you turn these things on and off. I don't think I went into it in great detail in some of the other videos I've done. So yeah, this down here is media volume decreases when navigating. So if you get a call or something like that come in, then as you go to answer the call, the sound of the media, the radio, etc., will obviously drop down its sound to quite a low level while you're on the phone, while you're on a call. Also, in reverse, for some reason, because you've still got the low sound, it also reduces down the volume on the radio as well to give you a bit more of awareness of what's going on around the vehicle while you've got it in that, while you're doing your reversing. So yeah, and then just got a speed warning there, so it warns you on various speeds. When you're going over the speed limits, it does it by sort of 5 mile an hour increments. So if you're doing 30, 35 in a 30, it will warn you. If you're in the normal navigation, if you're in Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, it won't give you a warning, but it will come up over here where it says here, speed here 30, it will just flash. It doesn't actually make a noise, it just flashes. So, which is okay. It keeps you aware of what's going on around you in that regard. Right, let's go over these here now then. So you've got standard or brand. So if you have it on standard, the indicator noise turns to a traditional, hopefully you can pick that up on the sound here, it just comes to a normal indicator sound. And obviously if you've got it on brand, you get the brand sound. And also it changes the startup sound, which is what I had a question on. How do you turn that on and off? So basically if I put it into standard and I now turn it off and go to turn on the vehicle again, you'll notice there's no startup sound. I really, really like the startup sound on here. I like it. So I actually prefer to have the brand on, and I'm prepared to put up with the indicator noises for that purpose. It doesn't bother me really, the indicator sounds. So yeah, I prefer to have the indicator sound for the startup noise. I do like the startup sound on it here. So yeah. So anyway, let's go back into where we were. So we go across to here, we go across to settings, and we go into vehicle settings, notification. This is where we were. So yeah, so you can change it to standard or brand. I like to leave it on brand. So yeah, so that's what gives you those extra sounds, the indicator noise, and also the startup sounds, and also the low pedestrian sound changes. The low pedestrian sound is like a wallowing, I won't do it now, but it's like a wallowing, almost eerie type of sound really. So I don't even like that sound. So I prefer to have the branded one, which is a little bit like an ice cream van going along a road. How I like to sort of view that one. I just don't know if there's anything else I wanted to really show you here. That's it, overhaul. This is what I wanted to show you. The wipers are set right down in the recess of the bonnet. So in other words, what that means is you can't actually just pull them up. So what you can do is you can, if you want to clean the wipers or anything, it's just done for aerodynamics really. But if you want to clean them, you can actually turn this on and it will put the wipers up. Let's do that again because I don't think you can see that on the camera as well. So you just basically put it in service mode and it will put the wipers up. And it also loosens the wipers, so you can now lift them and fold them as you want to, and you can clean all the rails along here, and you can also get down deep into the recess of the bonnet there as well. So I just wanted to show that because I don't know that I don't think I've shown you that before. It's probably quite an important one as well, really, because if you try to move the wipers when they're in the set mode, they won't move. They're just absolutely fixed solid, unless you want to try and break them, of course. So yeah, so that was the other thing on that. that I wanted to show you. And then the other thing was the boot. The other day when I done my video, I showed a little bit about the fact it's got no front trunk. It does have some changeability in the rear, in the boot. So let's go and have a look at that now. Right, so here we are. Excuse all the mess. But in the boot here, you have you do have a parcel shelf. I've actually taken mine off, which would obviously go along here to obviously cover and protect anything you've got in the boot. I have nothing much more than shopping bags in the back of mine, so it doesn't really matter too much. It's not that important. But what you do have here is you have a load lift. So what you can do, a raised boot lift. So if you take this mat out, if I can really do it with one hand, but you'll see here there's it's a little bit where you can see it clearly. You'll see you've got this raised height here, so you can have the boot set up high so it's at a even level with the back. Okay, so you get a bit more storage for underneath for your cables and stuff. So although I mentioned before about the cables not having a lot of space, you can actually get fairly decent cable space by lifting that up. So you can fit your cables in underneath if you have it a higher raise lift. It just means you have a lower, obviously, space here for storing stuff in the back of the boot. But so it just depends on how you want to do it. It's a 60-40 split in the back, so no unfortunate load through here. So you just have either one side or the other down on that way. But I just hope that answers a couple of brief questions I had. Just hope that answers a few brief questions about one of the two things I've had questions for in the comments on the channel. So hopefully that just gives a little bit of a better understanding of those few bits that people have had questions about. I do thank you very much for the comments. Keep them coming in, please. Please like and subscribe all my videos. I'd like to, get up to 200 subscribers if I could. It'd be really nice. And thank you for the support I've had now. The feedback I'm getting from the channel is that actually it's growing quite well for a new channel. So I thank everybody for the input they're giving and all that kind of thing so far. So thanks so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Just a brief video today to just give you an update on those two things, a few things I've had comments about and things that I haven't shown you before in the entertainment system. So thanks a lot then. Have a good day and catch you on the next one.